Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station with a Monday night matchup for the ages. We have the 1978 Yankees, led by Louisiana Lightning Ron Guidry, visiting the Detroit Tigers of 1976, and on the hill, on the mound, to a packed capacity house, Mark the Bird Fidrych, Massachusetts native. Fidrych, 19 wins, 9 losses, 2.34 earned run average, finished second in the Cy Young voting, second in the Rookie of the Year voting in 1976. Just an outstanding season that captured the imagination of baseball fans everywhere, especially in Detroit. He'll be facing Ron Guidry in the New York Yankees, Louisiana Lightning. Guidry, 25 wins, 3 defeats, and an ERA under 2, 1.74. He was practically unstoppable in 1978. So here we'll have a clash of two excellent pitching seasons. Louisiana Lightning, Ron Guidry, and the 78 Yankees, and Mark the Bird Fidrych and the 1976 Detroit Tigers from Tiger Stadium. So let's give you the lineups to get started here. Mickey Rivers will be playing center field, leading off for the Yankees, followed by Lou Piniella in left. In right field, batting third, Reggie Jackson. Batting fourth, the catcher, Thurman Munson. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Chris Chambliss. Batting sixth, playing third base, Greg Nettles. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Gary Thomason. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Willie Randolph. Batting ninth, playing shortstop, Bucky Dent. For the Detroit Tigers, leading off, Ron LaFleur playing center, Bill Freehan batting second, doing the catching. Batting third, La Grande à l'Orange, the right fielder, Rusty Staub. Batting fourth, playing left field, Johnson. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Willie Horton. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Fred Stanley. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Rodriguez. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Garcia. Batting ninth, the shortstop, Verizon. So Mickey Rivers is at the plate. 1978, Mick the Quick batted .265, 11 home runs, and 48 runs driven in. 78 runs scored to go with 25 stolen bases. Bill Freehan, a very good defensive catcher behind the plate. You have Rodriguez at third, who's excellent. Verizon average at short. Garcia at second, above average. Mickey Stanley, a weak fielding first baseman. In left field, Johnson, 4 out of 10 range, above average arm, though 6 out of 10. Ron LaFleur, outstanding in center, all around, range and arm. And Rusty Staub, not much range, but an above average arm. So Mickey Rivers, left-handed batter, to face the right-handed throwing Mark the Bird Fidrych. Detroit will move their infield corners in. So Rodriguez in at third, Stanley in at first. Here's the pitch by Fidrych. It's a ground ball to Garcia, over to Stanley, 1 up, 1 down. Here comes Lou Piniella. Piniella batted .314, 6 home runs, 69 runs driven in 1978. Right-handed batter. Bill Freehan goes through the signs. Fidrych looks in. Very animated. Nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Piniella. Grounder to Verizon, over to Stanley. 2 up, 2 down for the Bird. He gets the ball back. He's talking to it, walking around the mound. Now he steps back up on the mound, toes the rubber to face Reginald Jackson, Mr. October. batted .274, 27 home runs, 97 runs driven in. Left-handed batter, batted .306 off right-handed pitching. Fidrych looks in at freehand. Here's the pitch to Jackson. Grounder to Garcia, over to Stanley. 1, 2, 3, go to 78 Yankees. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. Due up for Detroit, LaFleur, freehand, and stop. You have Thurman Munson behind the plate, who's excellent. Nettles, outstanding at third. Bucky Dent, above average at short. Randolph, also very good at second. And Chambliss, excellent at first. So that's a very solid defensive infield for the 78 Yankees. Canella, 6 out of 10 range in left with a poor arm. Mickey Rivers, 8 out of 10 range with an average arm. Reggie Jackson, 6 out of 10 with a cannon for an arm. 8 out of 10 in right. And here comes Ron LaFleur. Batted .316 in 1976. 4 home runs, 39 runs batted in with 58 stolen bases. 10 out of 10 bunting ability. Yankees move their corners in. Nettles in at third, Chambliss in at first. And Louisiana Lightning on the mound, Ron Guidry. Guidry sets and delivers to LaFleur. And LaFleur walks. That's not a good sign. So he walks on the 3-2 pitch. Guidry came inside for ball 4. Chambliss to hold him on, and here's Bill Freehand. Freehand batted .270 in 1976. 5 home runs, 27 runs driven in. 7 out of 10 hit and run. Detroit will play hit and run with LaFleur at first. Munson sets the target. Here's the pitch by Guidry. Hit and run on. And that's a fly ball, deep but foul down the left field lines. Now 2 balls, no strikes. Hit and run will be on again. Here's the pitch to Freehand. They throw over to first. LaFleur gets back. Guidry looks to first. Now in at Munson. Hit and run on. Here's the pitch to Freehand. It's a foul back to the backstop. Guidry rubs up the baseball, steps back on the mound, toes the rubber. He sets and delivers. Hit and run. And that ball goes out to Mickey Rivers. He comes in to right center field, makes the catch, retreating back to first, Ron LaFleur. So 1 out, 1 on, and here comes Rusty Staub. La Grande a l'Orange. He batted .299, 15 home runs, 96 runs driven in. A lefty-lefty matchup. Staub batted .278 off left-handed pitching in 1976. Guidry rocks and fires. Staub grounds a slow ground ball to Randolph and flips to Chambliss for out number 2, advancing to second base, Ron LaFleur. He's in scoring position for Alex Johnson. Johnson, .268, 6 home runs, 45 runs driven in. Johnson batted .326 off left-handed pitching. Munson goes through the signs. Guidry nods his head. Here's the pitch to Johnson. That's a grounder to Nettles. He throws to Chambliss, inning over. LaFleur stranded at second, and after 1, no score here in Detroit. Due up for the Yankees in the top of the second. Munson, Chambliss, and Nettles to face Mark the Bird Fidrych. Thurman Munson, Yankee catcher and captain, .297 batting average in 1978. 6 home runs, 71 runs driven in. .264 off right-handed pitching. Fidrych talking to that baseball, rubbing it up, telling him where he wants the ball to go. Now he's up on the mound. Here's the pitch to Munson. And that's ripped foul down the left field line. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Freehand throws the ball out to Fidrych. Again, he's talking to it. Puts it in his glove. Looks at it. Now looks in at Freehand. He rocks and fires to Munson. Popped foul. Rodriguez races over but runs out of room as as that goes into the stands, third base side. Again, the count's 2-2. Fidrych has the ball. Toes the rubber. Here's the pitch. Munson swings, grounds to Garcia, over to Stanley, out number 1. So 1 away, top of the second. Chris Chambliss comes to the plate. Yankee first baseman, 274, 12 home runs, 90 runs driven in 1978. 257 off right-handed pitching. Fidrych wipes his brow. Now he gets back up on the mound. He's ready to work. Here's the pitch to Chambliss. That's a fly ball out to Johnson and left. He makes the catch for the second out. 2 outs, no one on, and here comes Craig Nettles. Yankee third baseman, 276, 27 round trippers, 93 runs batted in. Batted .319 off right-handed pitching. 2 outs, no one on. Fidrych doing some work to the mound. Pats some dirt down. Stands up. Rubs his hands. Toes the rubber. Here's the pitch to Nettles. Grounded. Oh, it's a line out. Garcia caught it at his shoe tips. Out number 3. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. Due up for Detroit. Willie Horton, Fred Stanley, and Rodriguez. Willie Horton batting .262 in 1976, 14 home runs, 56 runs driven in, 244 off left-handed pitching. Louisiana Lightning's ready on the mound. Gets the sign from Thurman Munson. Here's the pitch to Horton. That's a grounder back to the pitcher. He throws the Chambliss for out number 1. Nice play by Guidry. Here comes Mickey Stanley. I called him Fred Stanley. I apologize. Mickey Stanley batted .257, 4 home runs, 29 runs driven in 1976 for the Tigers. .284 batting average off left-handed pitching. Guidry looks in at Munson. He sets and delivers to Stanley. Stanley lines out to Bucky Dent, who makes the diving play for out number 2, robbing Stanley of a hit. So 2 outs, no one on. Bottom of the second, no score here in Detroit. And here comes Aurelio Rodriguez, 240, 8 home runs and 50 runs driven in 1976 for the Detroit Tigers. 273 batting average off lefties. Looking to extend the inning. Guidry's ready to work. Here's the pitch to Rodriguez. And that ball goes... Oh, what a diving catch in left center by Mickey Rivers, robbing Rodriguez of extra bases. Side retired. We go to the top of the third. No score. Due up for the Yankees. Thomason, Randolph, and Dent. Gary Thomason, 276, 3 home runs, 20 runs driven in. Off right-handed pitching, 276 batting average. Righty-lefty matchup for the Bird. Fidrych rubs up that baseball. He's telling it where he wants it to go. Looks in at Freehan. Here's the pitch to Thomason. It's popped up. Rodriguez makes the catch at third base. So with 1 away, the number 8 batter, second baseman Willie Randolph for the 78 New York Yankees. 279 batting average, 3 home runs, 42 runs driven in, 254 off righties. Fidrych rocks and fires. Here's the pitch to Randolph. Fly ball to deep center, but Ron LaFleur tracks it down for out number 2. And here comes Bucky Dent. Yankees shortstop, 243, 5 home runs, 40 runs driven in 1978. Righty-righty matchup. Fidrych pointing with the ball towards Freehan. Now he puts it in his glove. The windup and the pitch to Dent. And he strikes out Bucky Dent, side retired. Fidrych comes bounding off the mound, leaping over the foul line and back to the dugout, slapping his glove. We go to the bottom of the third, no score, due up for Detroit. Garcia, Verizor, and Ron LaFleur. So Pedro Garcia steps to the plate, 198 batting average, 3 home runs, 20 runs driven in. Batted .242 off left-handed pitching. 5 out of 10 bunter. He's going to attempt a bunt hit here. Here's the pitch by Guidry. Pedro squares. He gets the bunt down. They throw to Randolph on the wheel play, and Guidry is injured. He is coming out of the game. Wow. They get the out at first, but what a price to pay. Guidry's out, and now in pitching for the Yankees, Paul Lindblad, the left-handed pitcher. No wins, no losses, no saves, 4.42 earned run average in 18 innings pitched. Batting average against .284. This is a huge drop-off from Ron Guidry. Here's Tom Verizor. Lindblad gets the sign from Hudson. Here's the pitch. Verizor swings and he singles into left field. That's the first hit of the game for either team. Verizor 6 out of 10 base running ability. Chambliss to hold him on. There comes the top of the order. Ron LaFleur. He walked his first time up. Lindblad looks over to first. Now in at Munson. Here's the pitch to LaFleur. And LaFleur sends that ball deep to center field, but Mickey Rivers tracks it down. Verizor's going to tag up. He's got a 70% chance of reaching second base. There's the throw by Rivers, and he slides in safely. So Tom Verizor, excellent base running by Verizor. He's in scoring position with 2 outs here. Bottom of the third, and Bill Freehand comes to the plate. Freehand's 0 for 1. Lindblad's ready. Here's the pitch. Freehand swings, and he pops it up to Chambliss at first. Inning over. We go to the top of the fourth. No score. Due up for the 1978 New York Yankees. Top of the order, Rivers, Pinella, and Jackson to face Mark the Bird Fidrych. Now the Yankees are in a bit of a hole here as they lose Guidry to injury. So Mickey Rivers 0 for 1. Freehand sets the target. Fidrych nods his head. Here's the pitch to Rivers. Grounder back to the Bird, who throws to Stanley for the first out here in the top of the fourth. Great reaction by the Bird. Lou Pinella, he's 0 for 1. Right-handed batter, he steps to the plate. Digs in, he's ready to grip and rip. Fidrych gets the sign. He rocks and fires. Pinella grounds to Rodriguez, who throws to Stanley for the second out of the inning. Here comes Reggie Jackson. He's 0 for 1. But at any time in this game, one swing of the bat, and Reginald Jackson will put the Yankees ahead right now. Fidrych talking to the baseball, talking to it, telling it where he wants it to go. Looks in at Freehand. Here's the pitch to Jackson. That's a grounder to Stanley. He goes to the bag himself. Top of the fourth, over. No score. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Due up for the Tigers. Staub, Johnson, and Horton. And they'll face Paul Lindblad, who came in relief for the injured Ron Guidry. Here's Rusty Staub, La Grande à l'Orange. 0 for 1. Lefty-lefty matchup. Thurman Munson for the Yankees sets the target. Here's the pitch to Staub. Staub works a walk. We have Johnny Giantsbane in the chat. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. Remember to check out Johnny Giants Bane, awesome channel. If you're a big Game of Thrones fan, you gotta check out the king, Johnny Giants Bane. He says, up for work, had to say good morning to the Prince of Socks and Cotton that was promised last of his fabric. Oh, that's funny. Thank you, Johnny. Hope you have a great day, my friend. So Staub's at first, no outs, and here it comes. Alex Johnson, he's 0 for 1. Johnson, 7 out of 10 hit and run, but Lindblad struggles with control. You know what? We're going to play hit and run anyway. Munson sets the target. Here's the pitch to Johnson, hit and run on. And that ball is ripped deep but foul down the right field line. Counts 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. Staub at first being held on by Chambliss. The windup and the pitch by Lindblad. Johnson walks. So Lindblad has walked the first 2 batters here, and here comes Willie Horton. Horton had 14 home runs in 1976. Munson goes out to have a quick word with Paul Lindblad. Now back behind the plate. Ooh, excuse me. Munson sets the target. Here's the pitch to Willie Horton. No outs, 2 on. Horton grounds the nettles to Randolph to Chambliss. Double play. They get 2 for 1. Staub advances to third, but there's 2 outs now, and it's up to Mickey Stanley to knock Staub in. Stanley's 0 for 1. Can Paul Lindblad pitch out of the jam? We shall see. He's ready to work. Here's the pitch to Stanley. Stanley single. No! He's a hustle double. And the first run of the game is scored on the 2-out double by Mickey Stanley. Staub scores from third. 1-0 1976 Tigers. Johnny Giants Bane in the chat said, I knew you would get a kick out of them titles. That was very funny. Thank you, Johnny. Once again, remember to check out Johnny Giants Bane. Great channel. Must subscribe if you like Game of Thrones or just fun. If you like fun, Johnny Giants Bane is a channel for you. I subscribe. So should you. Absolutely fabulous channel. Wonderful human being, Johnny the King, our good friend from Ireland. So 2 outs, Stanley's at second, and here comes Aurelio Rodriguez. He's 0 for 1. Lefty-righty matchup here for Lindblad. Munson flashes the sign. The windup and the pitch to Rodriguez. 2 outs, runner at second. And that ball goes out to Piniella, who comes in and makes the catch in left field. Side retired, but the Tigers draw first blood. We go to the top of the 5th, 1-0. 1976 Tigers over the 78 New York Yankees. Mark the Bird Fidrych, Massachusetts native, will be facing Munson, Chambliss, and Nettles here in the top of the 5th. Yankee captain 0 for 1. Fidrych nods his head. Freehand sets the target. Here's the pitch to Munson. And that's a ground ball to Rodriguez, who backhands it, throws to Stanley for the first out here in the top of the 5th. Here comes Chris Chambliss, Yankee first baseman. He's 0 for 1. Righty-lefty matchup for the Bird. Steps off the mound. Rubbing up that baseball. Walking around the mound, talking to himself. Back up on the mound, toes the rubber, looks in at freehand. He's set to work. Here's the pitch to Chambliss. And that ball goes deep and gone. Rusty Staub just looks up, and that ball is gone. Chris Chambliss ties the ball game up on the Yankees' first hit of the ball game and first run. Whatever Fidrych said to the ball didn't work, as it went up, up, and away like a beautiful balloon. So it's 1-1 here in the top of the 5th. And here comes Greg Nettles. Yankee third baseman's 0 for 1. Freehand goes out to have a word with the young Mark Fidrych. Now back behind the plate. Fidrych is ready. Here's the pitch to Nettles. And that's a fly ball to shallow center. LaFleur makes the catch. Excellent range by Ron LaFleur. He covers a lot of ground in center field. So there's 2 outs, no one on. Here comes the left-handed batting designated hitter for the 1978 Yankees, Gary Thomason. He's 0 for 1. Fidrych rocks and fires. And that's a single to right center. Thomason just reached out and punched the ball to right center for a 2-out single. He represents the go-ahead run at first. 5 out of 10 base running ability. Mickey Stanley to hold him on. Here comes the number 8 batter. Yankees second baseman Willie Randolph. He's 0 for 1. 1-1 ball game here. Yankees finally break through this inning with a Chris Chambliss home run to right. Fidrych steps back up on the mound. He's mumbling to himself. Toes the rubber. Looks over at Stanley, who's holding Thomason on. Now in at Freehand. Here's the pitch to Randolph. Grounder to Verizor. He flips to Garcia for the force out. Top of the 5th over. But the Yankees tie it up. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 1-1. Due up for the 1976 Detroit Tigers. Garcia, Verizor in the top of the order. Ron LaFleur. Let me quickly go to the chat once again. Johnny Giantsbane says, and Al is a fighter/sports expert. Well, thank you. Not many people think that, but I appreciate that. Johnny also says, Al, if you ever do Westerosi News Report again and do a sports section, would love to get a parody of you doing play-by-play on Baratheon bulldozers. Oh, that would be fun. Johnny, are you going to be doing any more Darth Vader interviews? I love those. And how is your mom? How goes her book review? I haven't seen a new one of those in a while. So Garcia steps to the plate. Tigers second baseman. He's 0 for 1. Oh, Lindblad still out on the mound. He's thrown 35 pitches. He's good for 80. He came in for the injured Ron Guidry. Munson sets the target. Here's the pitch to vote for Pedro Garcia. And that is a hard ground ball to short. Dent scoops it up, throws to Chambliss for out number 1. Here comes Tom Verizor. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the 3rd. And that was the first hit of the ball game for either team. Glad looks in at Munson. Nods his head. Here's the pitch to Verizor. And he goes down on strikes. Fooled by the curveball. So 2 outs, no one on. Top of the order for Ron LaFleur. 1-1 ball game, bottom of the 5th. LaFleur's going to drop down a bunt base hit attempt here. Here's the pitch by Lindblad. LaFleur puts the bunt down and he will be safe at first. Excellent bunt. The speedy Ron LaFleur is on. 10 out of 10 base running ability. He represents the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs. Chambliss to hold him on. And here comes the Tiger catcher, Bill Freehand. Freehand's 0 for 2. Yes, fly deep to right center and pop to first base. Lindblad looks at Chambliss. Now in at Munson. Nods his head. Here's the pitch to Freehand. Freehand sends that ball deep but foul down the right field line. Counts 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. LaFleur at first. Lindblad rocks and fires. Freehand swings, he pops it up. Bucky Dent calls for it at short. Inning over. Johnny Giantsbane in the chat, I asked him how his mom's doing, how her book reports are coming. He says she's been slacking. Do the Darth Vader interview for you. Al, may I ask a random question? Who is your top 3 got faves only? Explain why I ask in a second. You mean for Game of Thrones? So, due up for the Yankees to face Mark Fidrych in the top of the 6th, Bucky Dent, Mickey Rivers, and Lou Piniella. Dent's 0 for 1. Fidrych is ready. He winds and delivers to Dent. Oh, but there's going to be a pinch hitter. Bucky Dent is pulled out of the game. And it's going to be Jim Spencer. That's interesting. Spencer batted .227. 7 home runs and 24 runs driven in. He batted .248 off right-handed pitching. Does have some pop in his bat. A little more than Dent. Fidrych steps off the mound to tie his shoes. His cleats are all tied up now. He asks for a new baseball. Freehand gets one from the ump, lobs it out to Fidrych. Again, Fidrych goes through his antics. He's talking to the baseball. This is what he was known for. Mark the Bird Fidrych used to talk to the ball all the time on the mound. Now he's ready. He toes that rubber. He looks in at Spencer. Freehand sets the target. Here's the pitch. And Spencer works a walk. Slider missed. So the leadoff runner's on. Top of the 6th, 1-1 ball game. Stanley to hold Spencer on. Here comes Mickey Rivers, top of the order. Mick the Quick's 0 for 2. Fidrych looks over at Stanley, now in at Freehand. Here's the pitch to Rivers, and he singles to right field. Rivers jumped on that first pitch strike. Runners at first and second, no outs. The Bird finds himself in a bit of a heap of poop right now. Here comes Lou Piniella. Pinella's 0 for 2. Fidrych up to 73 pitches. He's good for 140. Love to get a double play ball here, as Verizor and Garcia pinch the middle. Freehand goes out to have a quick word with his young pitcher. Now he's back behind the plate. Squats down, sets the target. Here's the pitch to Piniella. Grounder for Verizor over to Garcia to Stanley. Double play. So Fidrych kept that ball down, and Piniella bangs into the 6-4-3 double play. 2 outs, advancing to third. Jim Spencer, he's 90 feet away from giving the Yankees a 2-1 lead, and who's at the plate like Mr. October? Reggie Jackson. He's 0 for 2 today. First base open. Let's see how they pitch to Reginald Jackson. Remember, Reggie had 27 home runs in 1978. Freehand looks to third. Rodriguez bluffs. Fidrych bluffs to throw. Spencer back. Alright, Fidrych back up on the mound. Gets a sign from Freehand. Here's the pitch to Jackson. And Jackson walks. So they pitch very carefully to Reggie. Runners on the corners now for the captain. Thurman Munson, the Yankee catcher's 0 for 2 today. 1-1 ball game, top of the 6th, 2 outs. Fidrych sets and delivers to Munson. Ground ball to Garcia, but it gets by him. Munson singles, and the Yankees take a 2-1 lead as Spencer scores from third. Here comes Chris Chambliss now. Chambliss homered. Back in the 5th to tie the ball game up. Chance to rip this ball game open. 2 outs, 2 on. Fidrych clearly upset with himself. Steps back up on the hill, toes the rubber. He sets in and delivers to Chambliss. Grounder up the middle. Verizor makes the play and runs to second base for the 3rd out of the inning. Nice play by Tom Verizor, robbing Chambliss of a hit. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Yankees. Let's go to the chat quickly. We have Johnny Giant Spain. Excuse me. Johnny says, yeah, brother, Thrones, also much love to for you or your mom. Thank you very much. I like Stannis Baratheon, as you know. I like the Hound. And I like Davos. I want to say those are my, those are probably my 3 favorite characters. Yeah, just off, definitely Stannis, definitely the Hound. And I love Davos. So Rusty Staub, La Grande à l'Orange comes to plate. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out in the first, walked in the fourth. Staub had 15 home runs in 1976, and the new pitcher for the Yankees, the former Red Sox, Sparky Lyle. Lyle, 9 wins, 3 losses, 9 saves in 1978, 3.47 earned run average. You could hit him though. Batting average against 279. Left-handers hit 266, right-handers 285. Lyle gets the sign from Munson. Here's the pitch to Staub. And he plunks Rusty Staub. Wow. Off-speed pitch got away from him. Staub is the tying run at first. Chambliss to hold him on, and here comes Alex Johnson. Johnson's 0 for 1. Grounded out in the first, walked in the fourth. Johnson not much of a bunter, only 1 for 10. Hit and run. 7 out of 10, though Staub walks as many as he struck out in 1978, so I don't hit and run. I don't know if that's a good idea. But you know what? We're going to play hit and run. Here's the windup and the pitch by Sparky Lyle, hit and run on. And that ball goes deep down the left field line for a foul. Johnson gave it a ride, but he needed to straighten it out. The count's now no balls, 2 strikes. Staub at first, no outs. Lyle looks at Chambliss, holding Staub on, now in at Munson. Here's the pitch to Johnson. And he strikes Johnson out on the slider, down and away. 1 out, 1 on, and here comes Willie Horton. Tiger designated hitter, 0 for 2. He had 14 home runs in 1976 and batted .244 off left-handed pitching. Munson sets the target. Here's the pitch to Horton. It's popped up. Chambliss calls for it at first. He makes the catch, so there's 2 outs. Staub still at first, and it'll be up to Mickey Stanley to extend this inning. Stanley's 1 for 2. He lined out to short and doubled to left center field, scoring Staub back in the 4th inning to give Detroit a 1-0 lead. Since then, 2 runs have scored for the Yankees. The Tigers trail by 1. Stanley batted .284 off left-handed pitching, so it's been Guidry the lefty, Lindblad the lefty, and now Sparky Lyle the lefty for the 78 Yankees. Good God, Paul Blair's playing shortstop for the Yankees. Wow. I don't ever recall him playing shortstop for the Yankees. Usually they played in the outfield, center field, but I guess he must have played at some point shortstop for the Yankees. Wow, Paul Blair. They took Bucky Dent out. That was weird. I wonder if he got hurt and I missed it. All right. Lyle's ready. Here's the pitch to Stanley. And that's a single up the middle. Staub goes first to third as he was off on contact with 2 outs. Runners on the corners. For Detroit, they're trailing by 1. Staub the tying run at third. Stanley the go-ahead run at first. And here comes Aurelio Rodriguez. He's 0 for 2 today. He has flown deep to left center. And then shallow to left center in the 4th. Rodriguez digs in. He's ready to grip and rip. Lyle gets the sign from Munson. The windup and the pitch to Rodriguez. And Rodriguez singles to left field. We have a tie. Ball game stops. Scores. It's 2-2. Mickey Stanley goes first to third as he was off and running with 2 outs. Here comes vote for Pedro Garcia. Garcia's 0 for 2. Chance to put the Tigers ahead here. Stanley's at third. 2 outs. Rodriguez at first. Lyle very upset with himself, giving up the lead. So here we are, bottom of the 6th, 2-2, 2 outs, 2 on. Here's the pitch to Garcia. And that's a single up the middle, and Pedro Garcia comes through. It's now 3-2 Detroit. Rodriguez goes first to third. And here comes Tom Verizor. He's 1 for 2 today. Munson goes out to have a word with Sparky Lyle. He's being roughed up here in the bottom of the 6th. Goes back behind the plate. None too happy with Sparky Lyle, Munson is. He flashes the signs. Lyle nods his head. Here's the pitch to Tom Verizor. And Verizor sends a shallow fly ball to left. Canella moves towards the line, makes the catch, inning over, but Detroit scores 2 runs with 2 outs and retakes the lead 3-2 as we go to the top of the 7th. Due up for the Yankees. Nettles, Thomason, and Randolph to face Mark the Bird Fidrych. Johnny Giants Bay in the chat says, "Oh, well, I'll be doing a series, Lord of Thrones, short videos, and I ask the person quick-fire questions why their favorites would be worthy Lord of Thrones. You want in? You can take Davos." Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. When are you doing that, Johnny? Excuse me. Allergies kicking in. I apologize. Alright, Nettles, Yankee third baseman. He's 0 for 2 off Fidrych. Fidrych up to 91 pitches, good for 140. Freehand sets the target. Here's the pitch by the Bird. Grounder back to Fidrych. He throws to Stanley for the first out here in the top of the 7th. And that brings up Gary Thomason. He's 1 for 2. He has popped out and singled in the 5th. The Bird walking around the mound. Now he's back up on the hill, what he calls his nest. Toes the rubber, looks in at Thomason. Freehand sets the target. Here's the pitch. And that is a line out to Rusty Staub and right. Thomason hit it on the nose, but right at Staub. So 2 up, 2 down. Fidrych claps his hands together. Well, hand to the glove. Very excited, very emotional out there on the mound. And here comes Willie Randolph, the number 8 batter. He's 0 for 2, the Yankees' second baseman. Fidrych looks in at Freehand. Freehand and Fidrych can't get on the same page. Freehand calls timeout, goes out to the mound to calm his young pitcher down. Now back behind the plate. Fidrych bent over, looks in, hits the sign. Here's the pitch to Randolph. Grounded to Verizor, over to Stanley. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Detroit Tigers of 1976 cling to a 3-2 lead over the 1978 New York Yankees. Take care, Johnny. Thank you very much for stopping by. Health and happiness, God bless to you, your mom, family, and friends. Have a great day. Remember to check out, actually, not check out, subscribe to Johnny Giants Bane. Absolutely wonderful channel. Big Game of Thrones fan. Johnny Giants Bane, the king. My liege lord, or lord liege, or whatever you call it. He's the king. He's the best. Take care, Johnny. So due up for the Tigers. Top of the order, LaFleur, Freehand, and Staub to face Sparky Lyle. The Yankees playing their corners in. Nettles in at third, Chambliss at first. LaFleur 1 for 2 today. He's walked, flied very deep to center, and had a bunt hit in the 5th. The windup and the pitch by Lyle. LaFleur swings, he pops it sky high to Willie Randolph at second, who makes the catch for out number 1. And here comes the Detroit catcher, Bill Freehand. He's 0 for 3. Lefty-righty matchup for Sparky. Munson sets the target. Here's the pitch to Freehand. And that is going to be a double off the right field wall. So a 1-out double for Bill Freehand. He's in scoring position for La Grande à l'Orange, Rusty Staub. Staub 0 for 1 today. Lefty-lefty matchup. Lyle looks back at second. Blair bluffs towards the bag. Freehand moves back. Now Lyle looks in at Munson. Here's the pitch to Staub. And Staub walks. First and second. And here comes Alex Johnson. Johnson's 0 for 2 today. He is grounded to third in the first, walked in the fourth, and struck out in the sixth. Double play with the Yankees out of this jam. They're trailing by 1, bottom of the 7th, 3-2 Tigers. Lyle's ready. Here's the pitch to Johnson. And that's a grounder to Blair, to Randolph, to Chambliss. Double play, inning over. So Paul Blair, who went to play shortstop after Bucky Dent was lifted for a pinch hitter, turns an excellent double play. We go to the top of the 8th, 3-2 Detroit. Due up for the 1978 New York Yankees, Blair, Rivers, and Piniella to face Mark Fidrych. He's up to 99 pitches. Good for 140. He has a 3-2 lead. Blair in 1978, not a good year when it came to the batting average. 176, 2 home runs, 13 runs driven in. It's a righty-righty matchup. Fidrych rocks and fires. Here's the pitch to Blair. And before that happens, they call him back, and here comes Fred Stanley to pinch hit for Paul Blair. Stanley batted .219, 1 home run, 9 runs driven in, and .224 off right-handed pitching. Fidrych looks in at Freehand, nods his head. Here's the pitch to Fred Stanley, and Stanley works a walk. Fidrych very upset with himself. He's just put the tying run at first base. 4 out of 10 base running ability. Fred Stanley will be held on by Mickey Stanley, and here comes Mickey Rivers. And we're going to play corners in. Rivers is a 5 out of 10 bunter. 7 out of 10 hit and run, but he might try to move Fred Stanley over. They're down 1. So Rodriguez in at third, Mickey Stanley in at first for the Tigers. Fidrych rubs up that baseball. He's looking at it, talking to it, pointing with it. Now he's ready. Here's the pitch to Mick the Quick. It's a bunt, and they only plays the first base. Freehand jumps on it, throws to Stanley for out number 1, but Rivers does his job. Fred Stanley's now in scoring position with 1 out. Chance for Lou Piniella to tie this ball game up or put the Yankees ahead. Piniella only had 6 home runs though in 1978. He's 0 for 3 today. Fidrych is ready. The windup and the pitch to Piniella. Grounder to Garcia, over to Stanley. 2 outs. Advancing to third, Fred Stanley. He's 90 feet away, and look who's stepping to the plate. Mr. October, Reginald Jackson. Reggie Jackson, 0 for 2 today. He has grounded out twice, though his last time up in the 6th, he did walk. Freehand goes out to have a word with the bird. Mickey Stanley joins him on the mound. Bird keeps nodding his head. He says, I know. Alright, meeting adjourned. Umpire breaks it up, freehand back behind the plate. Stanley back to first base. Fidrych takes a deep breath. Brings his arms together. The windup and the pitch to Jackson. It's popped up to Garcia at second. Inning over. So the Bird pitches out of it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The 1976 Detroit Tigers 3. The 1976 Detroit Tigers 3. The 1978 New York Yankees 2. And here comes the closer for the Yankees, Goose Gossage, out of the pen. Gossage, 10 wins, 11 losses, 27 saves in 1978. Earned run average 2.01. Batting average against below 200, 187. Left-handers hit at a clip of 205. Right-handers 171. He will be facing Willie Horton, Mickey Stanley, and Aurelio Rodriguez. Trying to keep it a 1-run deficit here. Horton 0 for 3. The windup and the pitch from the Goose. Horton lines out to shallow right center. Mickey Rivers makes a fine running catch for out number 1. And here comes Mickey Stanley. He's 2 for 3 today. Lined out in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th, and singled in the 6th. Righty-righty matchup. Munson sets the target. The windup and the pitch by Gossage. Stanley swings, grounds it to Stanley, over to Chambliss. So Fred Stanley throws out Mickey Stanley. We have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Stepping to the plate, Aurelio Rodriguez. Tiger third baseman, 1 for 3, looking to keep the inning alive. Gossage looks in at Munson, nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Rodriguez. And he grounds slowly to Nettles, who comes up firing barehanded. And they just get Rodriguez at first. Excellent stretch by Chambliss. We go to the top of the 9th. The 1976 Tigers 3. The 1978 Yankees 2. And back out on the mound, the Bird. Mark the Bird. Fidrych up to 108 pitches, but he's good for 140. Looking for the complete game victory. He will be facing Munson, Chambliss, and Nettles. The Yankee captain, Thurman Munson, 1 for 3. He has grounded out twice. And then in the 6th, he singled, scoring Spencer. And that put the Yankees ahead 2-1 at the time. Detroit would come back with 2 in the bottom of the 6th to retake the lead, and that's how we stand, 3-2, top of the 9th. Fidrych is ready. Here's the pitch to Munson. Grounder to Garcia, makes a diving play, pops up and throws to Stanley at first for out number 1. What a play by Pedro Garcia. Going towards the second base bag, outstretched, diving, popping up, and throwing to Stanley. So with 1 away, here comes Chris Chambliss. He's 1 for 3, and what a 1-hit it was. A blast in the top of the 5th to tie the ball game up at 1. Fidrych asks for a new baseball. He receives it. Fidrych walking around the mound, talking to the baseball, nodding his head. Gets back up on the mound, toes the rubber, looks in at freehand. Here's the pitch to Chambliss. And that is a double to left center field. So Chambliss now has 2 hits off the Bird, a home run and a double. He is in scoring position. He represents a tying run here with 1 out, top of the 9th. And the Tigers get bullpen action up quite quickly. John Hiller, the lefty. And Steve Grilly, the righty. Freehand goes out to have a word with Fidrych. So Nettles is 0 for 3 off of him, but he bats .319 off right-handed pitching. And we have lefty, lefty, then a righty. And that's going to be it for Fidrych. They're calling for the pen. So Mark Fidrych, outstanding effort here. Let's see. Actually, they're not taking him out. He's talked Ralph Hauk out of it. He's going to stay in the game. He slaps his hand to the glove. He's a happy camper. Freehand back behind the plate. He sets a target. Here's the pitch to Nettles. And that is a home run. Oh my lord. We should have took Fidrych out. A 2-run blast puts the Yankees up 4-3. So Mark Fidrych talked his way to stay into the game, and now he gives up a 2-run blast to Nettles. The Yankees go up 4-3. And here is Thomason. He's 1 for 3 today. 1 out. No one on. Fidrych visibly disgusted with himself as he hung a pitch and Nettles destroyed it 461 feet to dead center. Fidrych gets back up on the mound, looks in at Thomason. Here's the pitch. Rounder up the middle past the dive of Geyser. And that's going to be it for Fidrych. As John Hiller will come in. So John Hiller comes in. 12 wins, 8 losses, 13 saves, 2.38 earned run average. Batting average against .219. The lefties actually hit him quite well, .330, but righties only batted .179. They'll face the right-handed Willie Randolph looking to turn a double play, keeping a 1-run deficit and get the Tigers to the bottom of the 9th. Geyser and Garcia pinch the middle as they look for 2. Here's the windup and the pitch by Hiller. Grounded past Garcia. It's first and second with 1 out, and here come the 1978 Yankees looking to do more damage. Stepping to the plate, Fred Stanley. He walked in the 8th. Again, Hiller and the Tigers look to turn 2. Freehand sets the target. Here's the pitch to Fred Stanley. He's called back for the pinch hitter, Mike Heath. Heath in 1978 batted .228, no home runs and 8 RBIs and 92 at-bats. Batted .281 off left-handed pitching. And you know what? We're going to counter that with Steve Grilly, the righty, as Heath only batted .143 off right-handed pitching. So Steve Grilly comes in. 1976, 3 wins, 1 loss, 3 saves, 4.64 earned run average, .257 batting average against. Lefties hit .269, righties .250 off him. Heath only batted .143 off right-handed pitching. Grilly's done with his warm-up tosses. He's ready. Here's the pitch to Heath. 1 out, 2 on. Tigers looking to turn 2. They're down 4-3. And it's a line out to Mickey Stanley. Randolph quickly gets back to the bag. So 2 outs, 2 on. And here comes Mickey Rivers. And now we got to go back to our pen. And here comes Bill Claxton in to lefty-lefty matchup. Laxton, 1976, no wins, 5 losses, 2 saves, 4.09 earned run average, 222 batting average against. Left-handers only batted 196. Mickey Rivers only batted 227 off left-handed pitching. Here's the windup and the pitch by Laxton to Mickey Rivers. And he strikes Rivers out. We go to the bottom of the 9th. But now the Tigers trail 4-3. As Mark Fidrych gave up the 2-run blast to Greg Nettles with 1 out at the top of the 9th. As he talked his way out of being taken out to the detriment of himself and the Detroit Tigers. So Gossage will face the bottom of the order here for the 1976 Detroit Tigers. What a ball game it's been, folks. It's going to be Garcia, Verizon, and LaFleur at the top of the order. We're going to go to a pinch hitter here. And it's going to be Ben Ogilvie to pinch hit. Ogilvie batted .300 off right-handed pitching with a slugging percentage of .518. So here it comes, left-handed batting, Ben Ogilvie. In 1976, Ogilvie batted .285, 15 home runs and 47 runs driven in. Detroit fans are clapping and stomping and hoping and praying and wishing and wanting for a comeback over the '78 Yankees here at Tiger Stadium. Gossage is ready. Here's the pitch to Ogilvie. And Ogilvie lines out to Jackson. He hit it hard, but right at Mr. October in right field. So 1 out. And here comes Tom Verizon. And they're going to call Verizon back. As Phil Mankiewicz will come into pinch hit. .304 batting average off right-handed pitching. A .429 slugging percentage. Another lefty. So Mankowski, batted .271 in 1976. 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and 85 at-bats. Gossage gets the sign from Munson. He rocks and fires to Mankiewicz. And that's a grounder to Doyle, who throws to Chambliss for out number 2. So Brian Doyle, brother of Denny Doyle, is in at shortstop now for the Yankees. So 2 outs, no one on. It's up to Ron LaFleur. Leadoff batter. Center fielder, he's 1 for 3. He's 1 hit. It's a bunt single. LaFleur waits the Goose Gossage offering. The windup and the pitch to LaFleur. And he goes down on strikes. Ball game over. The 1978 Yankees rally in the top of the 9th thanks to the 2-run blast by Greg Nettles off Mark the Bird Fidrych to defeat the 1976 Detroit Tigers 4-3. What a ball game it was, folks. Hope you enjoyed. Let's quickly go to the box score and call it a stream. Box score will be up momentarily. Let's go to the pitching first. It was a battle set up between Louisiana Lightning and Mark the Bird Fidrych, but Guidry was injured after 2 1/3 innings. He left, not giving up any hits or runs, with 1 walk. Paul Lindblad came in, pitched 2 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. He was followed by Sparky Lyle, who blew the save. He pitched 2 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned, 1 walk, 1 K. Goose Gossage came in to pitch the final 2 innings. He got the win. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, which was the strikeout of Ron LaFleur to end the ball game. Well, that's bizarre. That box score. It says Minnesota. Mark the Bird Fidrych's numbers. Let's go complete. Yeah, it's not going to... I don't know why it says Minnesota. Alright, let's try and do it this way. Well, the Bird pitched beautifully until the top of the ninth. So let's get the box score this way. Let's go to the recap. Keep saying Minnesota. Well, that's a weird kind of faux pas by Action PC Baseball. Alright, well, we'll just do the recap. Detroit scored 1 run in the 4th on a hit and 2 walks. John Sutton doubled. That's not even right. So that is very weird that it's somehow mixed in different names. I don't even have a Sutton. Well, we'll just call it a stream then. I wanted to give you the numbers. It was a very fun game. And in fact, I wonder... No, because this was an exhibition, I can't go back and look at the box score. So, Goose Gossage gets the win for the 78 Yankees in relief. Mark Fidrych gets the loss. Let's go back to pitching, see if we can figure this out here. Yeah, it's very bizarre. Batting, pitching, miscellaneous. I keep saying Minnesota score sheet. Well, next time I do one of these cross years games, I'm just going to open up a new file. I won't do it as an exhibition. All right. So, great game between the 78 Yankees and the 1976 Tigers. The winning pitcher out of the pen for the Yankees. Goose Gossage, the losing pitcher for Detroit, the 1976 team. Mark the Bird Fidrych, he gave up a 2-run blast in the top of the ninth, and he's the loser 4-3. This is Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much, and thank you to Johnny Giantsbane, who jumped in the chat before he went to work. My good friend from Ireland. Check out that great channel, Johnny Giantsbane. And we're going to call it a stream. Much health and happiness to everyone. Take care. Bye-bye, and God bless.